guys check out the Retro Philosophy Show on YouTube with my man Retro. Like, subscribe, comment, share, copy the link, put it on Instagram in your bio, put it on your Facebook page. Send it to your mama, text it to somebody. But y'all make sure y'all follow this page, Retro Philosophy.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? You already know what it is. It's your boy Richard with you on today. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad. All right, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully, you guys can hear me well, and all that good stuff. So let me see something here real quick. Let me go here. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay, so we should be Gucci. We should be good. Hopefully, everybody is having a great day. Uh, and if not, you know what we often say, right? What do we often say about whether or not you're having a good day? If you're not, you still got time to turn it around. Yeah, if you're not having a good day, you still got time to turn it around. Don't let a few bad moments ruin an entire 24 hours. And let me tell you, when I tell you, I have to eat my own cooking, my own, medicine. I take my own advice sometimes. Because, sometimes you'll say something, it sounds good, it sounds spiritual, it sounds deep, it sounds inspiring. And it be true, too. Um, but, some things are easier said than done. And God has a way of spinning things around. And then, so be careful what you put out there because it may sit there and look at you one day. And it'll be like, yeah, see, you told them. Now you got to do it. And I'm good with that. That's why anything I put out there, I try to put good stuff out there. In other words, because one thing I cannot stand is a hypocrite. I ain't talking about somebody who ain't perfect, because shoot, ain't now one of us that. Um, but a hypocrite. Let me put it this way, so maybe it won't sound as harsh. Well, it is what it is. I can't stand people who operate with double standards. It's good when I say do it, but when I gotta do it, well, what I meant was, or what that means is, man, listen here, man, look here, man, it's cold out here. So anyway, practice what you preach, say what you mean what you say. Look at here, man, I got a thought that I would like to put to you for a quick second. I'm trying to see if I can get my daggone stuff here to work right, because it don't act like it. Look, I ain't feeling no heat, y'all. It was working this morning coming down the highway, doing about 80 miles, 90 miles an hour, and 25-degree weather. Bro, that's some serious temps right there. Yeah, it might be 25 degrees outside, but when you ride in 80, 90, excuse me, when you ride in 65, 70, uh, you know, that temperature drops. It drops significantly. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm getting power, but I'm just not getting no heat. And why, I don't know. We had a problem with it the other day when we were riding up in actually we was coming back from Fayetteville a couple weeks ago, and it blew a fuse. Ooh, yeah, okay, I feel it now. Okay, we cooking now with gasoline. Facing the music, guys, it's just a thought that I want to put out there. You ever heard the terminology? You ever heard the saying? You got to face the music. It's a true statement, guys. And sometimes it's not always easy because you ain't ready to dance. Sometimes it ain't easy because you don't know that song. But there comes a time when we all got to face the music. Ready or not. Remember we used to play hide and go seek? And we would count to 50, 25, 10 if you was, numerically challenged. You would count to whatever it was you counted to. And then you would say, ready or not, here I come. And that's how it is sometimes when it's your turn to face the music. Ready or not, you got to face the music. And let me tell you this. prolonging the inevitable, it doesn't help. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what it is. You know what? It is what it is, and let me just deal with it. I'm not ready to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it. But to sit here and continue to procrastinate, to sit here and continue to reflect, excuse me, not reflect, but deflect, that ain't gonna do it, bro. You know, my sister would say you gotta put your big girl bloomers on, your big boy drawers on, and just deal with it. Face the music, bro. Somebody else might say, you just gotta rip the band-aid off, because you're sitting there and you're prolonging the inevitable. You're trying to, ooh, boy, that thing a little too hot now. You see how we are? We ain't never satisfied. Either we too cold or we too hot. But the good thing is I can hit them two little knobs there and turn it down. Now, what I really need to do, I had it last year. I had it ran in such a way where, okay, so right now I have the Harley Davidson heated suit on, right? Pants, jacket, and gloves. However, the two knobs controls. I can't even figure out how it's set up. One knob controls the pants, the other knob controls the jacket, and the gloves are on one of those. But last year I had ran, I think I ran an extra cord for the gloves and rendered the gloves separately, I believe. I did something like that because, like right now, I had to turn it down, but yet still I want my hands to be a little warmer because they're dealing with the wind, right? So I got to fool around with that, man, and get it refigured out. What was I saying? Facing the music, right? We got to face the music sometimes. Well, shoot, not sometimes. There will always come a time when we got to face the music, okay? And whether you're ready or not, whether you're prepared or not, sometimes it's not the question. You just got to rip that band-aid off, stop, you know, teeter-tottering, as Brown would say. And see, I readjusted myself. See, this is why I need Ruby Red back. Because Ruby Red was set up. You hear what I tell you? I'm on the Gold Wing today because Ruby Red is still locked up, you know, and hashtag free Ruby Red. But anyway, I had her all set up, and that would have never happened on Ruby Red. But anyway, I'm getting so distracted, guys. See if I can get back on course here. Facing the music, right? Brittany, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for pressing play. Those of you tuning in from YouTube and wherever else it is that you're tuning in from. I'm not going to try to read the comments because I want to focus and get to where I'm going safe and sound. Facing the music. Okay, let's talk about that. You might not be ready, but you may have to. I'm the kind of guy I can respect an individual who makes the attempt and the effort to do what has to be done, even though they don't know how to do it. Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Versus somebody who just keeps trying to avoid and point the blame, try to make it somebody else's fault, try to make it somebody else's responsibility, and all that good stuff. There's been plenty of times where, if I be honest, where I didn't want to face the music and I didn't want to deal with what I had to deal with, and I looked for other ways to go around it. I looked for other options, if you will, only to find out that there were no other. I don't know if I can say there's no other options because I don't think we're ever left without another option. That's another conversation for another time. But I finally got to the place where I had to face the music and just, make it do what it do. And sometimes it works out for your good. Because one thing I found out is that someone is always watching. Yeah, someone is always watching. And sometimes they're not watching so much what you do, but how you do what you do. In other words, you can do the right thing, but do the right thing the wrong way. Right? You made the right choice, you did the right thing, but your attitude sucked. Your energy was off. You know, Uh, you were grateful, disrespectful, and the list goes on and on and on. Now you did the right thing, you know, but you had an attitude. You did the right thing, but you were scared, second guessing yourself every step of the way. See, that's what I like about true leaders, real leaders. Look, I don't even know if this is the right way to do this, but it's the best shot that I got right now. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with confidence. I'm going to do it with intentionality, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to take ownership of what I'm doing. And if it does go south, if it does go sour, I'm not going to say, well, the secretary brung me the wrong minutes, and well, the vice president didn't do this or didn't do that. No, no, no. Because if you're the leader, the buck stops there. I'm just saying. Sometimes, guys, we just got to face the music. Yeah, yeah. Get out while you still can. See, you're afraid of what's going to happen if you leave. You're afraid of what's going to happen if bruh, it's going to happen anyway. Just face. I don't know who I'm talking to, and I don't know who this is for. Portion that is, relating to me, and I'm gonna say thank you, Lord, because I got some stuff in my life that needs to be fixed, that needs to change, that needs to be different, that needs to be confronted. You know what I mean? And I can't focus on what's going good and not address what's bad. See, that's what we do sometimes. We like to show all the good stuff, never addressing the bad stuff. And then the bad stuff turns into an issue, that turns into a problem, that turns into a situation. Yeah, not a situation, but a situation. So be careful that you're not that kind of individual. How you doing, Retro? Oh, I'm doing good. I'm blessed and highly favored. And I am. I'm blessed. I am highly favored. But what if I have an area of my life that needs some serious attention? What if I've got something going on, you know, uh, uh, you know, outside of the stuff that's good? Okay, case in point. You've got I'll use my truck for instance. I'm getting ready to go home and hop in the truck, right? 2005 Ford Excursion. It's nothing brand new, but it's a workhorse, that's for sure. 6.0. Just had to have it redone, right? Literally had to have the whole motor redid. What was that? Earlier this year. And and it was a great running truck. I had a F350 dually for that, right? And that was a beast. I put some work into it, and she was ready to go. And anyway, long story short, I ended up getting the Excursion, and I found out that the 6.0s diesel, they're known for head gasket issues, different things like that. But there's a process that you can do called bulletproofing, right? Almost ensuring that you won't have the issues that normally they're prone to. Now I got in this truck. It was a lot faster than the dually. It was better than the dually in a lot of ways. So there was a lot of pros to getting the Excursion for me personally. Right? I got the dually because I was doing some hot shot hauling and things that started to go a different way. So I didn't need that much truck anymore, and I kind of wanted something that the family can all kind of just get in, even though the dually was a four door, but still. The Excursion, it's a seven seater. It's just a lot nicer of a vehicle for what I was looking to do at that point, right? So, boom, I get the truck now, and I know I need to get it bulletproofed, but I didn't. I was getting ready to, but my point is, by focusing on all the pros, by focusing on all the good stuff about the truck, sometimes you overlook the necessary bad things that need to be addressed. You got to face the music. I know it's, got the whole family in it. You're going here, you're going there. It's strong, it's fast, it's nice, it's this, it's that. But, bro, you're not facing the music, and you're not doing what needs to be done. And so one day I hopped in it, hooked up the trailer. I'm on my way to Massachusetts, trailer full of stuff. Shoot, I ain't get no further than Virginia, and she left me on the side of the road. Now, facing the music might put you out of commission for a day or two or three or whatever the case may be, but it will put you out of commission for the scheduled maintenance versus a costly breakdown on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. And ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, that's what happens when you don't face the music. You will eventually have a breakdown, and you know breakdowns never happen at a convenient place or time. Breakdowns usually happen in the middle of nowhere when it's either extremely hot or extremely cold. Speaking of extremely hot, I've got to bump this down a little bit more because I tell you this heated gear is definitely doing its job right about now. The weather does not dictate whether or not you ride, but the gear you wear when you ride. And so, if you really want to get out and ride, if you have the proper gear, then you can get out and you can ride. So anyway, let's get back to the breakdown, right? If I don't face the music, if you don't face the music, you'll eventually have a breakdown. And you may, and and in this case, it may be seriously, like literally, uh, you know, mental breakdown is a real thing. It's a real thing. You better take a break before you have a breakdown. Yeah, see, a break is a pause. When you take a break, you're taking a pause. Um, you know, I told the wife the other day, I said, babe, I'm exhausted, you're exhausted, we're exhausted. We need a trip. Uh, so we're planning a little trip, nothing too fancy or elaborate, but certainly necessary. Taking the necessary break to avoid a breakdown. And so when you choose to face the music, you have a little bit more control over the situation. You get to choose which shop you take the vehicle to. You get to choose which mechanic works on it. You get to choose what day you're going to bring it in. That way you can make the necessary, arrangements for a rental or whatever the case may be, versus you not facing the music and then the inevitable happens anyway. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if I got any riders out there, any drivers out there who, drive or ride, you know that these breakdowns usually don't happen at a convenient time. I had, when I first started doing hot shot hauling, this has been several years now, I had a 19, what that thing was, a 1990, it might have been a 93 F350 dually, red, had the Cadillac seat, well, not real Cadillac seats, but I mean to tell you, it's like I had a couch in the front and a recliner in the back seat, lay down to a bed. It was, I think they called it a camper edition or whatever. I mean to tell you, that truck, boy, was solid. And I'm out riding, hauling some stuff to the other side of Alabama. This particular night, I'm on my way over there to the other side of Alabama. And I convinced the wife to ride along with me on this trip. Shoot, I even drive for a portion. And till I looked over there and see she had that needle laying all the way over. I said, hold on, pull over, move out the way, move out the way. But anyway, so we're traveling now. We're in the wee hours of the night, about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and everything is going good. Truck is just riding like a sewing machine, and out of the blue, I just heard like a clunk, and everything got stiff. Every light on the dashboard came on. Felt like I had lost power, but I actually didn't lose power. What happened was the serpentine belt had come loose. And I only bring that up to say this. It was at a very inconvenient time in the middle of nowhere. I was able to, after I pulled over and realized that the truck didn't actually shut off, it's just that when that belt came loose, that belt runs the AC, it runs the fan belt, it runs the, what do you call it, the power steering and pump and all that stuff. So when that belt came off, no more power steering, no more power brakes, no more power nothing. And so I actually thought the truck had shut off on me, but it didn't. So luckily, even though we were in the middle of nowhere, we weren't too far from from the next exit. What's going on, C1s? How you doing, sir? So I got back in the truck, started it back up, and just took my time real carefully getting to the next exit. Pull into a gas station, trying to inquire where we was at, if there were any shops near. Of course, at 2 o'clock in the morning, nothing was going to be open. And the guy at the gas station said, "I believe there's a shop not too far from here." And so some cases is what they can do for you. They're loyal to you. But then you have those that are loyal to your well-being, and those are the ones that you really want, because sometimes we get in a place where we don't want to face the music, and because they're loyal to your well-being, they will push you to face the music. They will tell you the truth right to your face. No, she was right. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have said that. Now, you don't really want to hear that, but because they're not loyal to you, they're loyal to your well-being, and they're going to tell you the truth. Somebody put in the comment section, facts, big facts. So always remember that, okay? Check your circle from time to time. Find out who is loyal to your yes. Those are the ones who always need something from you. Find out those who are loyal to you. Those are the ones that sometimes are there to do stuff. See, you don't always need stuff to be done for life. Sometimes, even though that you shouldn't take the help because you handle this. You are the one that needs to face the music. You can't keep calling so and so. Hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you do this for me? No, sometimes you need to do it for yourself. And then, most importantly, those that are loyal to your well-being, even if it means C1s is going to be mad at me and not talk to me, but I'm going to tell him the truth because this is what he needs to hear. Don't take this personal, C1s. I'm just using that as an example. This is what he needs to hear to fix his marriage. This is what he needs to be a better father. This is what he needs to hear to be a better person. Now, he may get mad at me and not even talk to me no more. He may never even log on again. But the reality of what I told him helped him. It pushed him to become that better person. Okay? Now, normally, when an individual gets it, they usually let go of the animosity, the hurt, or whatever you want to call it, because they then realize, even though they didn't want to hear it, they needed to hear it. But then some people, they're stuck on the hurt that they experienced as a result of the truth and not so much the benefit they got out of the truth. Because some people always want something to be mad about. True story. got to face the music, ladies and gentlemen. Every time we get down to here, entering into Statesville, coming through Troutman, and there's a little dip that comes down this hill, my wife's favorite part of the ride. But anyway, it never fails. If it's in the middle of the summer, you're gonna feel a difference in temperature. One time I clocked it on the thermometer, and it was like a 5 to 7 degree change. No, I'm probably exaggerating a little bit. It was probably about like 3 to 5 degree change. And that's why you saw me look at my things like, good lord. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh, they only got rid of that thing. We've got to face the music. Are you willing to face the music, or are you going to blame others for the volume of the music, or are you going to blame others for the music choice, the choice of music? Well, I would face it, but I don't like country music, or I don't like rap. Man, listen here. I don't care what it is. The music is playing. That means you got to face it. Okay. It's your boy Retro. Hey, you can join us for Bible study tonight. We're going to talk about a few things. Should be very interesting and hopefully helpful. But tomorrow, 8 p.m., right here on the Retro Philosophy Show, we'll be having episode number 2 of Straight Talk the podcast. Govern yourselves accordingly. Uh-huh. We'll have Dr. Jones and Dr. David on, and the three of us will sit down and chit chat about some things. And so, yeah, where real talk meets real growth. Yeah, Straight Talk, the podcast. First episode was really good. I really enjoyed sitting down with those gentlemen, and we talked about, and we're going to finish up that, and there's a talk about as well, and see what Dr. Jones and Dr. Edie has on their heart to bring to the conversation as well. So make sure you guys tune in. Just for a little backdrop, you've got 3 pastors with 3 different perspectives and 3 different experiences. But we come together to just have a straight conversation. We have all poured into each other, and in life at some point or another. We all respect each other, support each other, and believe in each other. And that is a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. And you can love someone, you can respect someone, you can support someone, but that doesn't give you the right not to have a straight conversation. hmm Can't water it down, can't sugarcoat it. If I'm wrong, they're going to tell me I'm wrong, and vice versa. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. on the Retro Philosophy Show for Straight Talk, the podcast, with yours truly, alongside Dr. Kelvin and Dr. David. Make sure you tune in, and if you have not already hit the subscribe button, please do so. We got several things going on here in the very near future. I'm supposed to be riding the route, scoping the route, mapping out the route for the Genesis ride. Um, but I've got some other things that came up that I'm getting ready to go address. So time is of the essence, and I know I'm not going to have time. I got to do what I got to do and get back for Bible study. So, but speaking of the Genesis ride, we've got that coming up January the 1st, first ride of the year. Come on, bro, really? Um, so if you'd like to ride with us for the first ride of the year, by all means, let us know. Flyer is circulating on my, that doesn't sound good, on my Facebook page. The route is going to be really nice. This year will probably be the first year where it doesn't include any interstate. Normally every year we'd have some curvies and some interstate as well. But this year the route is looking like it's going to be all back roads, a little bit through the town. But we're going to be on some back country roads for the Genesis ride this year. And just over an hour of a ride round trip, leaving from Upper Praise Ministries and ending at the restaurant in Mooresville. So we invite you to come out and be with us. The interesting thing about it is we're not just doing a ride. It's a little bit more than that. For those of you who may not know, Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry, the Genesis Ride is sponsored by Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministries, something we've been doing since the inception of the motorcycle ministry, Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry, that is. And so we do the ride, and then when we get back to the restaurant, we do a recap of the year. We share some highlights of the year. Some of those highlights not so good. It's just the reality is, man. Sunshine and rain, the good and the bad. And even though we have had some bad experiences, even as a ministry, they are still necessary for growth and for learning. So, Bible says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. So, again, we will get to the restaurant after the ride, and we'll do a recap, and then we will move forward after a couple testimonies. We'll move forward with we will then cast vision for 2026 for the new year, what the Lord has laid on our hearts and what He's showing us for the ministry and more. And I'm going to say this, because this is a different year, and I'll probably talk a lot more about this, after the Genesis ride, because this is a different year for me in so many different ways. But I'm going to say it like this and just keep it short. Some of you guys need to face the music. Some of you guys have experienced God's grace and God's mercy and God's favor in such a way that it's requiring you to not just make a choice, but to make a move. While you still have the chance, look at here, man. This pastime that we choose to do on these motorcycles can be very dangerous, can be very risky. And so we need the grace and the mercy of God every time we throw our leg over these motorcycles. And just to take it a little further, the last thing I would want to do is be out of His will while on this machine. So God is requiring of you to face the music. Okay? You need to become a little bit more aware, a little bit more conscious, a little bit more involved with your spiritual growth, because He's calling you to another place in Him. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. So reach out to us. We'd love to sit down and talk with you, offer you any advice or prayer or whatever it is that you may need at this time of your life. But that's it for today, guys. We'll talk to you later. That is, if you choose to join us for Bible study tonight. I got to park this old gold wing and hop in the truck and go make a couple moves. Time is of the essence. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, what's the word for the day? Put it in the comment section. Face the music. Yeah, face the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. It's your boy Retro. Let you know that registration for Mission 448 is open. You can register today and ride the four corners of your state or multiple states. Who's going to be the first to collect the four corners of each of the lower 48 states? Hashtag Who's Got Next. Register today and ride the four corners of your state.